In episode 43, titled Triage and Rate Assessment Findings, we focus on the disciplined act of turning a list of discovered issues into an ordered plan of attack. A strong triage process ensures that findings are sorted quickly into clear, actionable priorities based on risk rather than noise. Without it, teams waste energy on minor defects while critical exposures linger. Triage is where analysis becomes direction. It connects the assessor's evidence to management's response. Done well, it prevents paralysis and creates confidence that remediation effort matches risk reality. Think of it as an emergency room for vulnerabilities and control gaps. You stabilize what is urgent first, classify what is manageable, and document everything so the response timeline stays credible. The first move in triage is to validate evidence and replication steps so false positives are eliminated before prioritization begins. Verification saves time and preserves trust because few things erode confidence faster than chasing ghosts. Review the supporting screenshots, configuration exports, or log samples to ensure they genuinely represent the condition described. Run replication steps exactly as written to confirm the same behavior is reproducible under the same conditions. If replication fails, record that failure and close or downgrade the item accordingly. Maintain a short record of every verification decision so reviewers can see how you distinguished real issues from noise. That transparent validation log becomes a secondary form of evidence that the triage process itself was controlled and defensible. Next, merge duplicates and cluster related findings by root cause themes. Multiple findings often stem from a single systemic weakness, such as weak identity governance, incomplete patch propagation, or inconsistent configuration management. Grouping by cause prevents double counting and reveals where one remediation can resolve many symptoms. Document both the merged and retained identifiers to preserve traceability to the original Security Assessment Report, SAR. Clustering also enables thematic analysis across systems. If the same failure appears in several segments, the risk is organizational rather than local. That perspective helps leadership allocate resources wisely instead of funding scattered one-offs. The outcome is fewer tickets, cleaner tracking, and a clearer story about what truly needs fixing. After consolidation, write precise risk statements that describe the impacted assets, potential impact, and likelihood. A risk statement converts technical language into decision language. It frames each issue in the structure because, condition, asset or function may experience impact given likelihood. For example, because administrative passwords are stored in clear text within deployment scripts, production servers may be compromised during routine maintenance given frequent third-party access. This format enforces discipline. Every clause must be supported by evidence. It also allows assessors, managers, and auditors to reason consistently about severity without reinterpreting jargon. A well-written risk statement is more than documentation. It's the bridge between control language and operational reality. Severity ratings follow naturally once risks are articulated, but consistency is everything. Use agreed criteria aligned with your program's policy or a recognized scoring model such as the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, CVSS, as adapted to your environment. Rate each issue on impact magnitude, likelihood, and detectability or containment, and then validate those ratings against business context. A high technical vulnerability might be moderate in business terms if layered defenses render exploitation implausible. Conversely, a medium control lapse may become high when it affects regulated data. Keep the calibration transparent by documenting how contextual factors adjusted the base score. The integrity of your severity system depends on that traceable rationale, not just the numbers themselves. Broaden the assessment by considering exposure windows, exploitability, and existing mitigations before finalizing ratings. Exposure window means how long the vulnerability has likely existed and how long it will remain reachable before mitigation. A short-lived misconfiguration may pose less cumulative risk than a latent flaw in a core service that persists for months. Exploitability captures how easily an adversary could use the weakness given required access, tools, or knowledge. Existing mitigations, such as network segmentation, monitoring, or compensating controls, can materially reduce effective risk. Combine these factors to refine severity so that urgency aligns with realistic threat potential rather than theoretical extremes. Document these contextual adjustments in the triage log to show thoughtful, repeatable judgment. Once severity is set, assign clear ownership, deadlines, and any interim compensating actions. Each finding should have one accountable owner with authority to fix it, not a vague group name. Set due dates that reflect the risk rating. Critical items get hours or days, moderate items get weeks, and low items can align with maintenance cycles. When an immediate fix is impossible, define a compensating action, such as temporary access restrictions, additional monitoring, or process workarounds, and record evidence that it was implemented. This pairing of accountability and time-bound action turns triage from analysis into execution. The resulting remediation plan is credible because every item has both a driver and a clock. Some findings carry legal or contractual urgency beyond technical severity. Flag these explicitly during triage so they receive accelerated attention. Regulatory or contractual clauses, such as those in FedRAMP, Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCIDS, or Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, may impose fixed timelines for remediation or reporting. Note the governing requirement, cite the clause if available, and escalate to compliance leadership immediately. These obligations can redefine priority even if the technical risk is moderate. The triage team's awareness of external mandates keeps the organization in conformance and avoids unpleasant surprises during audits or authorizations. Consider an example. A critical administrative exposure is discovered that allows privilege escalation through a misconfigured orchestration interface. Triage immediately classifies it as high impact and high likelihood, triggering containment within hours. Temporary firewall rules are applied to restrict access. Credentials are rotated, and continuous monitoring is enabled to detect any exploitation attempts. The team documents every step and updates the triage record with timestamps and responsible personnel. The containment not only limits damage, but also provides the evidence trail that auditors and agencies expect. The example reinforces the principle that critical exposures demand decisive action paired with traceable documentation, not prolonged debate over scoring nuances. Triage outcomes lose value if they remain in silos, so communicate them to stakeholders with clear rationales. Summarize how each rating was derived, why certain issues were merged, and what compensating measures are in place. Use language appropriate for the audience, executive summaries for leadership, detailed tables for engineering, and compliance mapping for governance. Deliver the message through the same structured intake or reporting channel used earlier to maintain continuity. When communication is consistent and transparent, stakeholders trust the triage process and focus on resolution rather than challenging methodology. That trust accelerates remediation and enhances the organization's overall assurance credibility. Tracking metrics is the feedback loop that keeps triage honest. Record and monitor key indicators such as the age of open findings, mean time to remediate, mean time to verify closure, and distribution by severity. These metrics show whether the remediation pipeline is healthy or clogged. Use trend charts to detect when certain teams or systems accumulate aged findings and require targeted assistance. Keep the data visible to all participants so progress feels measurable. Metrics turn abstract promises into visible accountability, sustaining momentum long after the initial assessment energy fades. Triage is not a one-time act. Reassess ratings after partial fixes, environment changes, or new information emerges. A patch may reduce exploitability. A configuration drift may reopen exposure, or a new threat vector may raise severity. Periodic reassessment keeps risk reality aligned with system evolution. Record every rating change with reason codes and timestamps so external reviewers can follow the decision trail. This continuous calibration avoids the twin dangers of complacency and overreaction, ensuring that scarce remediation effort always targets the highest current risk rather than the ghosts of last quarter. As a memory hook, remember this sequence: validate, group, rate, assign, communicate, review. Validate evidence to ensure accuracy. Group duplicates to see patterns. Rate severity consistently. Assign owners with deadlines. Communicate clearly across stakeholders. And review regularly as the environment evolves. This loop transforms raw findings into a living risk management system that learns and improves, Each pass through the cycle strengthens both data quality and organizational maturity. In conclusion, a disciplined triage process turns assessment chaos into a structured path toward remediation. The findings become prioritized actions backed by evidence, context, and ownership. As the team completes triage, the next step is to draft the corresponding plan of actions and milestones, POA&M entries, embedding all ratings, ownerships, and deadlines into the formal tracking framework. When triage is thorough, transparent, and traceable, the organization moves from discovering risk to actively managing it, swiftly, credibly, and with the confidence of a team that knows exactly what matters most. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit BareMetalCyber.com.